Hello, Ranger. Ranger's been cooped up for a while. He does have a doggy door, but he's very happy to be at the covered bridge home walk. Right, Ranger? Hey, Range. Range, are you a happy baby? Yes, you are. Sometimes you have to get out and smell the roses. Sadly, the roses get smelled when you are social distancing in this 2020 year of COVID. Hey, Range. Say hi to the camera. I call Ranger a Muticus flavicus. He needs an appropriate Latin name to give him some dignity. What type of doggy do you think Ranger is a mix of? We're all mutts actually in one way or another. I have no gimbal. I am a neophyte fighting for justice and liberty. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. So this is where we go. We have a couple of different routes we can take for our walk. I try to do this a few times a week and get in my couple of hundred paces of jogging. Calf tightened up a little bit as usual, but I try to walk through that. It seems I can press on through the pain and it actually dissipates after a while. You have to know how much your body can do. That's a benefit of being an athlete, a former athlete. Oh, look at that beautiful sky. I do hope this picks up in the camera. Let's get some silence for the beautiful birds singing. These are the entry to the Berkshire Mountains, which is part of the Appalachian chain. The foothills of the Berkshires. And now we'll come upon the Housatonic River. It had been greatly polluted before they stopped all different types of chemicals leaking into the water. I still would recommend eating the freshwater clams or anything, but this is a very nice kayak and canoeing river. It meanders its way around a nice, slow, curving river, which time changes with every storm. And we're in a storm right now, folks, a storm for liberty. COVID is just a passing nature and probably a combination of human error. More like human ineptness from what I know, but we all have our postulations about COVID. I'll set that aside and worry about how it happens later. Right now we have to just deal with whatever's at hand. Hey, Rangy. Don't go too far. Back up. Come to Mommy. Good boy. Yes. That might be a ledge with nothing under it at the end. I'm not going in after you. Actually, I would. I used to be a lifeguard. Even a head lifeguard. And yes, I have saved people. One of my nicknames used to be Trailblazer. There are a lot of hidden, deep stone fireplaces I've left up and down the East Coast. Places one can escape to if push comes to shove in this world. You have to be prepared and think ahead, folks, or else it's all for naught. And then there will be no one left to reclaim liberty. In the meantime, I function quite well within society. They haven't put me away yet. Yet being the key word. Look at that happy dog. Ranger's spotting his territory. We don't need to take a picture of that. Oh, it's good to be alive. And breathe good air. I can't imagine what it's like struggling your last moments trying to gasp a last breath like a fish at the surface of an oily tank. One of my yet unpublished books is titled Life in the Tank, both an educational and philosophical tank about an enclosed universe of which I am their demigod and have a responsibility to take care of my fish. It's a fun read for any tropical enthusiast. And here's the same river just wending its round itself. Nature is amazing. Oh, don't you love that? I love trees like that just hanging out. And that too will add to the water and make it difficult for the canoes to get around. You'll have to go over and ford it and get yourself wet. That's part of survival, folks. Cavemen and women looking down upon us are probably laughing at our lack of skills of survival. You should know your mushrooms, know what plants you can eat and can't eat. Feed a little to your dog first, wait a day. Touch a piece to your tongue and see how it reacts. The idea is to not kill the patient. Always refer back to rule number 1. Can you imagine the people in New York City right now and other big metropolitan areas during COVID-19, or what is commonly known as COVID-19? Unsub Press had a very interesting article he wrote. Check it out on his blog. Unsub Press, a proud member of the First Amendment advocacy movement from England. Unsub Press. There's a couple of logs. A lot of birds nest inside the clay at the water's cliffs. Look at that blue sky, the refraction, a wonderful wonder of physics, protecting us from all those photons along with our electromagnetic shield, all the things we don't see that is part of reality. We don't even really look the way we think we look when we look at each other. We're mostly nothing. We see a very limited range of vision. If we had everything, we'd be blind, because we couldn't see beyond our own lenses. There would be so many different interferences from all the spectrums of Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, orange, Got that wrong. Green. Gerard G. Biv. G green, B blue, indigo, and violet. The visible spectrum. Then you get ultraviolet at one, and then X-rays and all sorts of things. There's still forms of photons. Gamma rays, those you want to stay away from. And X-rays. Now this is a fun portion. It gets pretty wet here sometimes. Then I make a path along here. Not many people come this way, but Trailblazer is an off-trail kind of person. And there are young ferns, edible ferns, that if you come early enough, you can pick them. They sell them at the supermarket for about $8.99 a pound. And puffballs and all sorts of other things. Puffballs are among the most edible of all mushrooms. There are very few dangerous varieties. The chief most of them is pure black. I'm not talking about when the puffballs are old and you step on them like a kid and all the black puff comes out. I'm talking about young virgin puffballs. They're almost all virtually edible, as are many that grow off trees. Not great eating, but at least you can make a soup out of it, a soup broth. And here's a great path block. Ranger can get under. I used to be able to leap over that, and I wouldn't even trip from the other side, but no longer. High jumping is no longer my thing. Been there, done that too. So we're going to go over a little more delicately. The idea is to reach the other end in as good or better condition than when I first went over this obstacle. I did smash all the obstacle courses when I was but a child. Isn't this great? I love the woods. Most comfortable in the woods. Widens out quite a bit here until it turns back on itself to the right. We'll get there. Just a few more minutes. We're almost there. Ranger knows the way. He's been here before. Right, Range? Range. Recall. Good boy. Left side. Set. Release. Go play. Now that's a trained dog. You have to have a good recall for a dog, for his own safety and safety of others. Jump over, Ranger. Ranger understands English as a 3.5 or 4-year-old would. Sometimes he's obstinate, as they are too, and has to be reminded. That's okay. It feels good to get out, folks. Real good. Trying to hold this as steady as possible without a gimbal. I'll probably end up getting one. Just have to set some funds aside. This is a precarious time in my life because I plan to get rid of my house. It's too big a nut. It's a huge house. $8,000 in taxes for a 70-year-old is too much. I don't have the income stream I used to, and I don't have to have everybody's money anymore. I just have to learn to live as simply as possible. Like Rumi said, the 15th century Middle Eastern poet, Rumi, R-U-M-I, great poet. People have been smart for a long time. IQ's been high for hundreds of thousands of years. Since there are probably even quite a few Homo erectus who were outliers of their IQ, even though they would have had the equivalent of about an 85 IQ from today's standards, average is 100. There were probably a few that had 120 or even 130 IQ. Keep that in mind. We're all different, but we all deserve respect. You can't tell whose parents you've chosen. We all get a different mix in the soup. And those who can't take care of themselves should be taken care of in a society, in a civilization. Don't jump to conclusions all the time, please. Give people a chance to speak. They might have had a bad day, just as you have bad days sometimes. Ranger, go ahead. "'Tis me, Leslie, at your service. Platonic service only, please." And back to the real world with Ranger. Nice and gentle, Range. Good boy. I haven't seen any beavers around, but this would be a little suspect, I think. They are known in the area. See a little bit of snow still on the ground. There are some spots in the fall that keep their snow for another month or two. You can come down to grab some cold snow from your campsites. This is one of the spots that the ferns grow, right in here. And a few other spots and some mushrooms you can often get. Nice oyster mushrooms from logs like that. Or a hen's nest. Oh, look. Now that looks like it could be a little possible beaver den. Not so sure. I'll leave them where they are. They have a right to live. I'm almost... Oh, you got yourself all wet, Ranger. Good for you. I usually have a little pole I set aside. I guess that's one of them. I'll grab that. Help me get down this slippery slope. Some of my other poles. Here's a good one. No, that's rotted. I'm not as limber. Hello, I fall well. You move slowly, you get hurt slowly. Wisdom from my father, you don't have to be smart to be a mover. You just have to know about leverage. I'll hurt myself more trying to get a pole for safety. Okay. Here's one. That's probably not... It might have some strength. Here's a nice big one. I wouldn't use this for hiking, it's too heavy. But not bad. I'll go with that. Maybe not. Okay. Keep in mind the camera's not strapped. Whoa. If I fall like riding a bicycle, I'll just get back up. I prefer to have two hands free. Whoa. More fear when you're older, folks. Height does make a difference. I'm talking about being high up. And this is our local beach, Ranger, beach. Run. And this is one of our spots. And this is our sand. Ranger used to go swimming in here. I gave him a new hip when I got him when he was 2. But the hip gave out a little bit, but he's still game, just doesn't swim. He's taught a couple of other dogs to swim. What do you see, Ranger? Stay back here with me, sweetie. Mommy needs to rest a bit. I spy footprints. Is that a bear? Is it a catamount mountain lion? Or is it Ranger? Or one of his friends? Looks like one of his friends. That looks more like Ranger. Fresh, beaten up sand. But it could be him, I just don't think so. And garbage. Normally I'd have a little backpack to pick up a little garbage on the way. Not today. Time for listening to sounds. Life finds a way. That is a proud, happy dog. Ranger's approaching 10. Still pretty spunky for a 10-year-old. Like his mommy. We're peers now. Time to go, Ranger? Okay, go ahead. Go. Go ahead. Alright, this is a good time to end stream. Be well, all.